The key to it just blocks it. So it's blocked, the insulin can't get into the cell, your cells require energy, your cells cannot use the glucose, and then that's when you have all the complications of diabetes we are going to come up to. There are three main types of diabetes. We have type 1, type 2, and what we call gestational diabetes, which is diabetes when you're pregnant. And then there's also the big one, which is pre-diabetes, which we will talk extensively on. And for our purposes today, I'm going to concentrate, I'll talk a little bit about everything, summarize it, but I'll concentrate on diabetes in youth and diabetes in pregnancy. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Type 1 diabetes is basically caused by an autoimmune reaction, where your body attacks itself. So your body cannot produce the insulin which your cells require. Right? And most of the time, type 1 diabetes happens in childhood. Your pancreas cannot make the insulin. And that's what, mainly it's passed down through your family. Most of the time, your father, your mother, a relative had diabetes and passed it on to you. Sometimes some viruses in the environment will trigger that. But if you have type 1 diabetes, it's one of those things that you need to take insulin every day to survive. And currently there's no cure for that. That's type 1. There are some risk factors, and some of these risk factors I'll go over, but these things take a long time to develop. You might see it, you might not see it. We'll go and talk about the symptoms, what you should look out for, and then we'll educate ourselves so that if, in case you see 1 or 2, 3 symptoms, some of these symptoms are common for general, ailments. However, if you know you've got a couple of these symptoms and you have the risk factor, what you want to do is the next time you go to your doctor for a checkup, you say, hey, can you check me out? I have my family members who had diabetes before. Let us see how that will work. All right? Don't guess. Please talk to your doctor. Your age can be one, but normally type 1 diabetes you will know from childhood. Type 2 diabetes, your body does not use the insulin well. It cannot keep your glucose at normal levels. Basically, your body is producing the insulin, but your cells are not using it properly and effectively. About 90 to 95% of people with diabetes have type 2 diabetes. And this goes on for years without knowing. And as we talk about the risk factors, you will know. There are some risk factors I would like to go over right now. If you have pre-diabetes, we'll talk about that. If you are overweight, you are 45 years and older, you have a parent, brother, sister who's had type 2 diabetes or has type 2 diabetes. You are physically less active 3 times a week. Less active 3 times a week. That might be me. If you've had gestational diabetes before, or you've given birth to a baby who's more than 9 pounds in weight, that's a problem there. If you're African American, almost all of us, Hispanic, Latino, American Indian, you have. If you've had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, you are prone to have diabetes. But there's one encouraging news. You can prevent type 2 diabetes with proven lifestyle changes. Just 3 of them. Losing weight if you are overweight, eating a healthy diet, and getting regular physical activity. 3 things. Just 3 things. We'll talk about it over and over and over again. I think I need to. As I was preparing for this, I'm like, oh, Eric. You can't go and tell people this if you are not doing the same thing. So, I promise, Christine, I'll be doing all of this. Gestational diabetes. This basically develops in pregnant women who've never had diabetes before. If you have it, your doctor will let you know. As soon as you get pregnant, your doctor will screen you for everything. And if you are at risk, your doctor will tell you. You can still have a healthy baby, but you have to follow certain rules, talk to your doctor, your dietitian, and do what you're supposed to do. Also over here, you're 25 years and older, you are overweight, and you have a family history. Same thing that goes over. But there's one thing that is common to most ladies. If you've had what we call PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, that basically is something that prevents your body from utilizing the insulin properly. And if it doesn't utilize the insulin properly, then basically your cells don't get enough, you have too much blood sugar in your bloodstream, and you get diabetes. There are lots of complications we will get to later on as we talk. Pre-diabetes, that's the most important part we'll talk about today as well. Is it affects about 98 million Americans. That's 1 in 3. And 80% of those who have pre-diabetes don't know about it. The risk factors we went across over: family history, overweight, less active, eating very unhealthy foods. All those push you towards that. Because your body might be producing the insulin as it should, but it's not being utilized properly. And if it's not being utilized properly, there's too much blood sugar in your bloodstream. And then you start getting all those symptoms. The good news, as we spoke, lose weight if you're overweight, healthy, good food, exercise. 3 things, that's it. Me too. It's not easy to eat good quality food, but healthy